Hey guys, this is Fade, and I'm back with another video for farming Spirits of Harmony. Anecdotal evidence seems to suggest that higher level mobs have a higher chance of dropping Spirits of Harmony, and because of that I'm making a level 90 specific video. If you are not level 90, feel free to click the little video on the screen right now, and that will take you to a nice farming video for anyone who's not quite level 90 yet. For those of us who are level 90, we have a lot of different options for getting Spirits of Harmony, such as growing them on your tiller's farm. Don't worry, that's not what this is going to be about, because chances are if you looked at this video, you want spirits on demand, not having to wait a day just for one. But may I say, I love farming. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to actual Spirit of Harmony farming. There are a few different things that you want to take into account when choosing your farming spot based on what you want to do. For example, you could farm in the Vale, and this would allow you to get Sky Shards to hopefully get a Lonnie someday. While if you farmed in the Dread Wastes, you might be picking up Amber Crystals, which can help you get Claxy Rep faster. Let's go over a few of my favorite spots really quick, starting with the Dread Wastes. We're starting in the southern Dread Wastes, which is an area called Zanves. I like this area because some of the mobs can be mined if you're a miner, as well as the fact that there's really not a lot of casters, so it's easy to round up on a tank. It's also worth mentioning that you can get Dread Amber Shards here, which can be turned in stacks of 20 in Claxives, which will allow you to get more Claxy Rep. That's pretty much what this spot has going on for it, but on the other hand, it's also fairly spread out compared to the other spots I'm going to show you, so you'll be traveling quite a bit between pulls, and some people may not like that, but it's still worth looking at. Essentially, this spot is very straightforward. Go to the island and kill mobs, round up as much as you can, and don't forget to hit the quarry in the south. Basically, this is just kill, kill, kill. There's nothing really special about this spot. I just like it because it's fairly out of the way, and on days when it's not the daily, you usually don't have much competition. And like I mentioned, it's pretty easy to round everything up, even though you have to jump around quite a bit between pulls, since the mobs are fairly spread out on this island. Also, remember, you can mine the little rockworms here, so that'll help miners get a little bit extra out of this. The absolute coolest thing in my opinion about farming in the Dread Wastes is the Claxy augmentations and enhancements. Essentially, after you've quested in Dread Wastes for a bit, you'll be able to get both a offensive buff and a defensive buff. Now, depending on what quests you've done, you'll have different ones unlocked. What I'm using is Angel of Death, as well as the one that traps you in Amber if you die. That way, if I accidentally overpull, I don't actually technically die, and the AoE cleave that Angel of Death does will continue to tick down and kill the mobs while I'm just sitting in my little Amber shell getting all my health back. So that's one of my favorite things about farming in the Dread Wastes, is you've got the bugs to help you out. The next spot I'd like to discuss is Kunzen Village, which is in Valley of the Four Winds, northwest of Half Hill. This is where you go up on the ledge and you fight all the different hosen for your daily. Some of the stuff it has going for it is the groups are fairly tight-knit, you don't have to travel very much at all in this location, and it's also really, really easy to kill mobs using this little trick up here, which I'll show you in just a moment. On the other hand, there's really nothing bonus here, like you don't get the Dread Amber Shards and you don't get the Sky Shards, so you're not going to get any extra stuff, but hey, the moat farming's still awesome. Also, dailies often happen up here, so it's not uncommon to have a lot of competition for your mobs, but usually they respawn fast enough that you don't usually run out of mobs too much. Now, the trick about this place is it's already easy enough to kill the mobs normally, but the cool thing is you can round up a whole bunch of mobs and take them over to these stolen beer kegs, which are all around camp. And every time these beer kegs explode, they cause a massive amount of AoE damage, which will pretty much wipe out any of the weaker hosen, and severely damage the ones that aren't weak, you know, the elites and stuff that are padding around. So using the beer bottles, well, beer kegs I guess, you can actually farm this area very efficiently, and this is actually, of the spots I'm going to mention, this is my favorite. The only downside is, like I mentioned, you don't get Sky Shards, you don't get Rep Crystals, so it doesn't seem quite as multitasking, but it's still a really great spot. The other place I'd like to talk about is Vale of Eternal Blossoms. Vale is where you're going to get Sky Shards, very rarely naturally, which will get you a Lonnie, so a lot of people are interested in that. But the thing is, the dailies will change what mobs are available, so it's really hard to say, oh, just go out here and farm this anytime, because not all the mobs are always there. So instead, rather than saying, hey, this is the spot, I'm just going to show you some mobs to look out for as possible good farming spots. So first off, you're going to want to keep an eye out on these Thunder Moths. They're usually up there just wolves that pet around, they kill gazelles. Really good if you're a skinner as well, since you'll be able to skin the bodies afterwards. Also, sometimes you'll be able to find these stonebark tricksters up in the north. They're little sprite things, but luckily they don't throw snowballs at you, and they have a pretty decent drop rate of motes, but the best thing about them is how low their health is. And also, you're going to want to check on these crick-thick mantids that spawn all along the wall. I've actually got a sky shard off of one of them before. They are awesome, but of course they're only available during certain days of dailies, so it's really hard to say, hey, this is the perfect veil spot, but keep an eye out for these as well. I hope this helped you guys out with Spirits of Harmony. If you don't like this, or you just want stuff that's easier, you can be a little bit more mind-numbing, don't forget to check out the lower level video, Farming in Kunlai. I still use that cave as well, it's still just as good. I've heard rumors about nerfs. Nope, it hasn't been nerfed. I was there just a few hours ago. It's great. So if this helped you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Do subscribe. I come out tons of gold making videos, so I hope you guys will join me for those. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.